Welcome to episode 3 of Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, the podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk to my friend Joe about seasonally appropriate products, specifically pumpkin spice lattes. Hope you enjoy the conversation. In case this is your first time watching Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, my show is one part podcast with my friends, one part perilous permadeath gaming challenge. Mostly I chat with my friends about a topic they love, but rarely get the chance to talk about at length, but at the same time, I'm trying to get my first win at Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. The catch is, if my character dies, the episode ends. Hope you enjoy the show. There is somebody watching, but, I don't know who it could be. Wait, how do I share screen?
Can they hear us yet?
Yeah, they can hear you. So,
oh, cool.
But I will be, yeah, there we go. We're streaming the game. And I'm sharing the game with you, and we're streaming our voices, so now we're officially doing a podcast. That's it. So we're live, everyone. And so, yeah. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more formal about this part than I have been in the previous couple episodes. So let's see. Introduction to the show is part 1 of my 6-part intro. Introduction to the show. This is Dungeon Crawl Stone Talk Soup. This is Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup. I'm your host, Travis. I'm here with my very good close friend, Joe. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Okay, you're still here. Okay, good. And what I've asked Joe to do is join me on the show so that we can talk about his thing. And I don't mean his member in his pants, because that's a different type of talk show. This is about him coming here to talk about the thing that he doesn't get to talk to anybody about because he's too afraid to bring it up or because people would make fun of him. But I'm not going to make fun of him. I'm very excited about it, hear about the thing you're obsessed with. It can be something you talk about sometimes with Joe, but it is just a matter of, I want to hear that thing where you could rant about it, where it's something you've been anxious to get to talk to people about, and, your wife doesn't necessarily want to hear you rant about it. Okay, so Joe, now I'm going to introduce you to Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, which is the game that will be being played in the background. So this is a turn-based RPG game that I'll be playing while we have our chat. It is an excuse to show you the game to have this conversation, but it's also the game is an excuse to to stream this onto Twitch. And so it's a turn-based game, which means that if I don't do anything, the game isn't playing by itself. It's not one of those games Fallout or something where people would shoot you if you just stood still for long enough. You stand still, nothing happens. And that's important because often during our conversation, I'm just going to get lost in listening to you, and that will mean that the game's not playing by itself or something like that. I'm not screwing it up by not paying attention to it. But here's the thing that I haven't told you before, Joe, is that if you watched a little bit of the show, you might know this by now, but this is a permadeath game, which means that when my character dies, it dies. But here's the hint, the secret of the show that I don't tell any of the guests before they get on the show to quiz them on whether they watched any of the other episodes. But if my character dies, our talk show is going to be over. That's the end of the show for tonight. So if I die somehow, if the character dies, just for tonight. We can meet again. I can have you back as a guest another night, but the episode's over, and I just am gonna say up whatever you're talking about, Joe. Just stop talking. I have to say goodbye because we just died and we're going home. And so far, we've had 2 episodes and I have not died. And you would think that, and they were the same character the whole time, so the second night was much more precarious because we were very far into the dungeon and I was facing worse bad guys. If I had come to you with that character, we'd be on the 3rd night for that same character, and it'd be more and more likely that it's going to die. Luckily, that character died in between episode 2 and 3 because the hard drive on my computer conked out. And I had to buy a new computer. So this is a brand new. You get a fresh start with a fresh new beefy boy as a character. So there's very likely we'll make it through this whole episode. And as soon as I said that, now I have to like knock on wood because it's very. We have to be very careful because this is a very difficult game, and if I screw up, I could kill us, and we would just end the show.
So at this point, if you're starting from scratch and it's ostensibly easier, if you die, it's reasonable to presume that you did that on purpose so you could stop talking to me.
It did cross my mind to say that. I was going to bring up that like you were the most likely person to have me have to hang up early on because I was so far into the game. But now, if I die, yeah, you're right. I've probably found a way to just fuck up on purpose.
Yeah, you just tank it.
Yeah, I just tanked it just to end the conversation. No, but that can't possibly be true. Let's listen to me for a second, Joe. I don't want to be a sarcastic or mean person on the show. I want this to be a place. I want this to be one of the few places where people know that if they come on as a guest, they know they're going to talk about their thing, and I am going to be not. I want you to know ahead of time if I seem like I'm genuinely excited about the thing you're talking about, Joe. Mm-hmm. I am actually genuinely excited. Okay, I'm not being a sarcastic asshole. This is not.
So if you're bored, though, you're probably sincerely bored.
I doubt that it's gonna happen. I just genuinely think that I am a good host for this show because I don't want to listen to people talk about like how their Friday and Saturday was. Like, oh, it was rainy, so we didn't go outside, and like, so we had to stay in. And we watched like 6 episodes of the Golden Bachelor or something. Like, no, I don't want to hear about that shit. I want to hear about the thing you can be excited about and get passionate about. Admittedly, some people do get that level of passionate about The Bachelor. So anyway, that's the only thing I really prepped you with, right, Joe? Is that you're going to come in to talk about the thing that you love to rant about.
Rant or talk, yeah.
Rant or talk, okay. So I'll get started on the game. And just get us started, and then we'll start talking about your thing. So we have... Okay. So I haven't talked about this before, but this game is all procedural. It's all random. And you have these easy characters. I guess easy... They're smart not to call it easy, because I've never won. I've never beaten this game. And the simple characters, I don't consider simple. They're all very difficult. The intermediate characters are very difficult as well, and the advanced characters are straight up impossible to win with. But you can be an octopus. Do you see this? There's a little octopus guy you can be. That's pretty cool. And you can be a cat. I feel it is just a cat. But I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to be a minotaur. Because it's very likely to win. And it's a fighter. And its name... What will the name be? So the name today will be Beef Boterham. And that's what we're naming our beefy minotaur.
What is your naming convention rationale?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm very excited that you asked me that. On this course of me having this TV show or whatever, if I play any other games, the Champ Delmundo character will consistently be going after being a charisma-focused character where I love in a video game where you can like talk your way out of having a fight. And so I love when you can avoid having a gunfight in like Fallout because you like hit on the person instead. So Champ Delmundo, the namesake of this channel, is the charisma character. I also have some other characters in mind, but when I go for a strong dude, and the strong dude is just about beating things up and punching and doing it, I'm just always going to go with the naming Beef Boterham. Boterham means sandwich in Dutch.
Fascinating.
And so that's the character's name. So I have other characters.
Why'd you choose Dutch?
Oh, I'm learning some Dutch right now. That's a great question, Joe. I'm learning some Dutch so that I can go to Amsterdam on vacation.
Oh, okay. You know everyone speaks fluent, beautiful English there, right?
Oh, I do know that. I've been to Amsterdam before, and I know they all speak fluent English. And yet I still feel a responsibility to learn something, some Dutch. But all I know so far is how to say that I eat the sandwich.
Yeah. we just got back from a trip to Denmark. We went to Copenhagen and we
Oh
also
yeah.
went to Stockholm, Sweden. We just got back.
How much time did you spend in each?
3 days in each. And then there was like, travel days on either end.
Whoops.
Did you already lose? Oh my God. That
No.
boring.
No. So I also got
Immediate
a new
death.
keyboard. I was trying to zoom in on this character. Um, and I hit, like Windows Plus, and it just like zoomed in the screen instead of the thing. So I'm trying to get this guy to zoom in.
The people watching you on Twitch are mocking you
Oh, no
now for
doubt.
your lack of keyboard shortcuts
Well, we're cutting this part
abilities.
out.
Cut this part out.
Cut this part out of the. But this is gonna go on the editing room floor for sure. I'm gonna figure out the button though. There's a button for zooming in, and I figured it out before. I'm gonna figure it out again. Game help. List of commands.
What's your favorite part of Amsterdam about being there?
I went to the museum last time, the art museum. And that was great.
Mm,
Last time I was there, I was with my brother-in-law, and we had a space cake, and we went on a boat cruise, and that was great. And then, as we were on the boat cruise, we stopped at a beer garden,
nice.
and we all got up and got off the boat, and I took like 2 steps into the beer garden, and I said to myself, oh my God, I'm very, very, very high. And I don't know where I am, and I'm in a foreign country, and like if everybody leaves on the boat without me, I'll never get home. I will just suddenly I'll be a homeless person living in
Yeah.
Amsterdam. I won't know how to get home. I
Yeah,
have no
especially
idea.
because you don't speak Dutch.
I don't speak Dutch, right? But I don't know my brother-in-law's address. I don't have my, like I don't have any service on my phone or whatever. I don't know. Like I thought I was gone, or so I grabbed my brother-in-law right there, and I was like, "Don't leave me here. Don't leave me here. Just don't leave me here." And
So wait, does your brother-in-law live in Amsterdam?
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's an architect.
Oh,
He lives in
see,
Amsterdam. Yeah,
it's all
it's all
man.
it's all coming
That
together,
was
right?
that was a crucial piece of information.
It was because why was he there otherwise?
Oh, what? I mean, if you have a brother-in-law in Amsterdam, it makes sense why you would go there more than
Twice.
once.
Yes, more than once. Exactly. Yes, I did not
And
go for.
and think like, oh, I'll probably go there again. I should probably start learning the language a little bit because that'll be a fun thing.
That's right.
And
You're right.
Travis, the thing I know about you is you like to do fun things.
I do like to do fun things, and I like to learn languages. Yeah.
Remember when you made up that X-Men game when we were living in Ferndale and everyone had to pick a character and there was
Was it
like
made up?
energy points and stuff?
Was that made up? Did I make that up?
Yeah, you made it up. I'm pretty sure. It was like a whole made up thing. I think you had multiple Excel spreadsheets.
No, I think I have a book. I think I have a book that taught me the game, and
Oh, okay.
then
And you facilitated it?
and I facilitated
I
it
thought you
via many Excel spreadsheets, as you said.
Yeah.
I do wish we could zoom in. Oh wait, no, there it was. It was there. Control plus or minus. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in.
See, this is too bad that you're not actually playing the game and you have to edit this out because I'm giving you great content on Amsterdam.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping you're asking me real questions.
I am asking you real questions. This is an excuse for us to hang out, right?
There we go. Yes, it is. So, so
Oh,
the
there you
content
go.
is not relevant. Exactly. Okay, now it's zoomed in. Okay. What did you when did you go? Was it with the kids or adults only?
Sans kid.
Sans
Just
kids, good.
it was adult
How much time
only.
did you spend in Denmark, and how much did you spend in Scotland?
No, that's not at all the
Sweden,
places
Sweden,
where we
Sweden
were.
was the other one, right?
Yeah.
Scotland. Okay, so I'm much more of an English language traveling type person. So I immediately assumed you only went back to Scotland, but no, you went to Sweden.
Yeah. I mean, Stockholm was very much similar. Copenhagen and Stockholm are very much like Amsterdam. Everybody speaks English.
Right,
When
right.
you walk into a store, they'll greet you in the normal native language and just like the colloquial hello. And then, like, as an American traveling, we would just say hello
Hello.
in a very American way.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
they would like switch because nobody says hello as like a greeting.
Right,
So
right. So you'd
that was like
obviously
it was
out
like our
yourself.
keyword.
You'd out
It was
yourself as American.
yeah, yeah, immediately. And then they'd switch.
Your McDonald's
Um,
hats didn't do that for you.
mm-mm.
All right,
So
fine.
we were there for three. We were in Copenhagen for 3 days, and we were in Stockholm for 3 days.
Um, so
We
did
we
you?
ate, I think, a total of 9 cardamom buns or something like that between the two cities.
Oh, that sounds really good. Is
Yeah,
that
just
bread?
coffee and cardamom buns
Oh,
constantly. Dude, it was great.
I want that. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
I should, you know what? I don't really look forward to food of different places. Um, but now that you mentioned like a bready type thing, I'm like, maybe I should just ask every place what their bread is.
Yeah, man.
Bread's the best. So, welcome to Bread, the podcast.
This
This
is the new
is
podcast
Travis, and this is
called Bread.
Joe, and we're going to
I
talk
think
about
more
breads
people
for 2.5 hours.
I think more people would listen and watch if we're talking about bread.
But it does remind me that my thing that I want to uh, hear you talk about is not your recent vacation. I actually do want to hear about that, Joe, which is strange because I don't usually want to hear about people's vacations. But
Oh,
we're not going to talk about that right off the bat right now, although we already
okay.
did. We're going to switch over and talk about
Excellent.
your thing, the thing that you have been dying to talk about. And I was wondering, were you anxious or excited that you finally got to talk about the thing? Were you anxious to talk about it, or are you finally excited you get to talk about it?
I'm anxious to talk about it. Oh, well, what do you mean? I'm
Anxious
anxious
about
about
talking about it, or
I'm yeah,
anxious to talk about it?
yeah, I'm anxious about talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel self-conscious about it. It's not like a taboo thing, I don't think. Uh,
Oh, okay.
um
Well, you
or
do want
anything
to.
like
I have. I'm 2 for 2 on attempting to guess what the person was going to talk about and
oh.
being wrong about it.
Oh, you're 2 for 2 being wrong.
I'm two for
Okay.
two on attempting the guess, though.
Okay.
Should I go 3 for 3?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay, so I was guessed that you were going to come and talk about being a Lutheran,
Oh,
A Luther,
a luthier.
a Luthier. That's right. I said
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
And I thought that would be something you haven't and don't get to talk about ever. And I thought that was something that you're very excited about.
That's true. I don't ever get to talk about it, but I also don't do it. So it's not it's not like an active thing that I'm excited about talking about.
Right. But I didn't make that up. That's not a thing. That's not a
No,
thing
I
that would be weird for me to have said about you.
no.
Because you are a
I
luthier.
I think it would be a stretch to call me a luthier, but I have built a guitar,
I
yes,
think you
from
are.
scratch.
I think you have a certificate somewhere that says you're a luthier.
I put it on my resume that I
So then you are. You're way more so
yeah,
than me.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want this conversation about luthierism to
Hmm.
end without us mentioning what it is. Oh wait, no, you said it.
Mm,
Yeah, but it's still not entirely
got it.
clear.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna leave that then. But
Okay.
that was my guess, and
You're
I'm glad I made you
incorrect.
think about it. You didn't you um
I I think that would actually be more interesting. This is where my anxiety around the thing that I want to talk about.
So let's
But
do this. Let's do this. So we'll talk about your thing for a little while, and
okay,
I'll check in with you at some point about whether you want to switch over to talking about Lutheranism.
I had when you say it like that, it starts to sound like dirties for some reason.
Lutheranism.
I was like doing a little brainstorm, like a written brainstorm, like ideas, and I kept coming back to like the same thing to talk about.
Okay.
Though I have other things that we could talk about it. I thought it was interesting that your the guest on your previous episode, Baker was like, mostly the thing that I could and want to talk about is like work related, but I'm not going to do that because it's work related. Mm-hmm. I think it's similar to me. I could soapbox and rant about stuff work related, but I don't want to do that.
Well, let me go back to that same question I asked Baker was, do you, maybe this is going to get a little bit pop psych 101, but like, cool. Don't you, why don't you get a good dose of talking about work and stuff in your life? Or do you? Don't you? I guess the question I asked last time was, don't you already get a good dose of talking about that stuff?
This is one of the reasons why I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, because you do talk about it enough.
But it was worth a moment of reflection to be like, that is the thing that jumped into my mind. It's probably the thing I could talk about for the longest.
Yeah.
Without
it's surprising that your work is something that you could talk about the most.
Yeah.
But also it causes distress sometimes to talk about work,
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the thing that brings you pro stress.
Well,
anti-stress.
This brings me stress sometimes too. The thing that I'm going to talk about. Also on my list was pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh, really?
That was probably the runner-up. So if we run out of things to talk about,
that's a runner-up. Okay, so that can be on the list of things we can talk about today.
Yeah. We might want to pivot to pumpkins. Yeah. Because it's topical.
It's topical too. It's that right time of year.
I've been on a whole pumpkin spice latte journey in the last couple weeks. For the last few years, actually. I've evolved. My position on them has evolved over time.
Okay, what was it originally?
Delicious.
Oh wait, it's evolved. Continual. And then
it went to, this is hot garbage water.
Wow.
And it just tastes like chemicals. And now I'm back to delicious.
How does that happen? Wait, how did it taste? Hey, also, do you think it's a corporate, failure? Did they once make great lattes and then they started to make shitty lattes for a while?
Are we allowed to mention companies and things like that, or is it like no free ads kind of thing?
Great question. Typically, this is a highly socialist communist space and no free ads. So make it clear what they are without naming the naming the business. Yeah.
Well, the business that you think of when you think of pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, sure. There you go. So it's an outer space object.
Right. And money.
Yeah. Outer space money, coffee.
Outer space money, coffee. I think when I first had it, it was like this new thing. And I think my coffee palate was not very refined at all. And so and like the artificial sort of chemical flavoring and like the overly sweetness, my palate was all for that. But I think through my journeys, my coffee related palate at least has refined. And so when I went back to it, I was like, these are no bueno. Too chemically, too overly sweet. Doesn't actually taste like pumpkin spice when you actually like bake with pumpkin spices, which I've done. But there's a lot of local coffee shops around me, and they all make pumpkin spice lattes.
Of course.
And so this year I have been trying them all and doing a power ranking of all the pumpkin spice lattes in the area.
Let's hear it. I need to hear the power ranking starting from the bottom up, not from the very bottom necessarily.
So this was the backup thing, but now we're just talking about it. So I have a framework that I rate them all on, and it's not a quantitative scale. It's more a qualitative scale that is helping me figure out what I like in a pumpkin spice latte. And so
I couldn't
the
be more
framework
excited about this. And
is
Joe, just I couldn't be more excited about this.
I had a
I
feeling
can't
once I
I can't express to you how important, how much this is exactly what I want on this. This is the exact content I want.
I knew once I said framework, I would have you.
Right. And is there an Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet involved in this?
Not yet. I've just been taking notes in a field notes notebook,
Okay.
and
It
a
it
notes
could
app
be
and
it could be
a
switched
notes
over,
app on
but
my phone. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm probably gonna. I've made my way through one round, and I took notes, but now I'm gonna go back through and have them all again and reevaluate.
Oh my god.
Because here's the problem: is I have terrible sense of taste.
Okay.
Like I can you could hand me like three spices like nutmeg, clove, and cinnamon, and I would struggle saying which one was which.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
my wife can eat something and that has like a lot of nuanced flavors, and you're like, oh, what is that flavor that's sticking out? And she'll like know, oh, that's this thing that they put in it without actually knowing the recipe. She can just identify. I could never be like a chef because I can't do that. I think I could learn to do it though. And this maybe part of this is secretly me wanting to like prove to myself that I can
You can be a critic.
have a better
Yeah.
mind mouth connection.
Oh my god, that's an awesome phrase. Mind mouth connection.
Yeah, I don't think I have good mind mouth connection.
Oh my god. But you want a better mind mouth connection.
I do. I do. I want to know the flavors. So, okay, so here's the framework. The first one is sweetness. Like qualitatively, what kind of sweetness, and maybe quantitatively too. Like, is it too sweet? Is it not sweet enough? Does it have kind of like a brown sugary sweetness, or is it more of like a just kind of like chemical like sweetener,
Mm-hmm.
sweetness? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with that element of the pumpkin spice latte?
Right.
The next one is pumpkin spice. That's the next element of the framework. So what what is their what is this pumpkin spice latte's point of view on what pumpkin spice is? Because
Okay.
I don't think as a society we've all gotten together and agreed on what pumpkin spice is. Especially because pumpkin doesn't have spice. That's the reason why you have pumpkin spice, is because you have to
Absolutely.
spice the pumpkin because it's just a bland squash.
Yes.
And
That is such an incredible, like, there's not talked about enough that, like, this idea of pumpkin spice is entirely made up.
no, yeah, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, folks?
Right.
And the outer space dollars is like, this is what one is. And everyone's like, hell yeah, it is.
That tastes great.
I'm
Oh,
super into it.
I'm completely unsurprised by this.
There's
Um,
actually a guy who you would love, I think, has a YouTube show. We'll give him an advertisement, except that I don't know his name.
that's a tough
uh,
advertisement.
yeah. So, and I actually know the name of the show, but maybe I won't. Maybe I won't pre-advertise unless you want to go back later. But he did a whole thing on he like makes drinks. He like cocktails, and he gets like really nerdy into the science and flavors of like making a good drink. And so he
Cocktails
won't
mostly, though.
cocktails mostly. And so uh it this was like a couple years ago. He did a pumpkin spice syrup that he could use in a cocktail, but he wanted to isolate like his point of view on what pumpkin spice should be, his interpretation. But to do that, he drank like a bunch of outer space dollars pumpkin spice lattes.
But his
And
his his interpret. So he was trying to do the interpretation of the outer space dollars, not of what a pumpkin's spice would be.
yes and no. He started out doing that,
Okay.
like trying to be like, if I made basically an alcoholic drink inspired by a pumpkin spice latte. So the outer space dollars was his starting point.
Gotcha.
But then he was like, it was terrible. And there's actually like two commercially available syrups that like there's like a French company and an Italian company, and if you see like in a coffee shop like all the syrups that they have to
Yeah,
like
oh,
make the
I've seen
different
those.
things.
And they always look
Yeah,
French.
yeah. So there's like two different ones. He got those and he was like analyzing them, and he got like a bunch of pumpkin spice lattes from the place and was analyzing it. And what he realized is it's not what his mind and his interpretation, his point of view on what pumpkin spice actually is. It was like nowhere close. Actually, to get the flavor, he recreated the flavor of Outer Space dollars, and actually, it's just like 3 times as much sugar as you would think.
Oh
So
my.
it's just like very sweet, and it's mostly vanilla actually. So
Uh-huh.
it's kind of just a slightly tweaked vanilla latte actually.
Oh.
There's not that many
Way
of
sweeter. Way sweeter.
way sweeter, way more vanilla.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Corporate
I thought,
corporate America, watch out. Joe's coming for you.
yeah,
He came on the internet just long enough to come tear down corporate America by exposing their conspiracy theories of how they're all
yeah.
going to get us hooked on white sugars. Oh my goodness. And
So
vanilla.
there's all these joints in my town that I can ride my bicycle to get a pumpkin spice latte. And they do interesting things like, oh, we made our own syrup, or oh, we actually use pumpkin puree. So I ask people, the lovely, super nice baristas, like, how do you make your pumpkin spice latte? And some of them are just a syrup, and you can tell. So, okay, so that's two. So it's sweetness, pumpkin spice, and then for me, because I really like coffee, which probably could be its own topic that I could talk about for a long time. Except I'm not that smart about it. I just really like coffee. Um, it Coffee, like the coffee presence in the latte, because some are very like the coffee doesn't like pack a punch. I want to feel the espresso come through the latte.
Absolutely.
I
That's
normally
I think
wouldn't
that's a
get a
sign of
latte.
a very good latte is that you can taste the coffee.
Right. It
Very
should
good.
still feel like I'm so I want there to be like a coffee punch to
Absolutely.
it. And then the last category number 4 is the trimmings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because some people just do like a foam, and some people do like a foam, but then uh like some like a dusting of cinnamon or nutmeg, or like a pumpkin spice mix, which is basically nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove, and some ginger usually. Um and so that's kind of nice where it's like sitting on the head of the foam. There's that little
Mm-hmm.
dusting.
Mm-hmm.
And some people just like, like, fuck it, let's put some whipped cream on this
Oh,
and drizzle some caramel. I actually don't. Hey, if the place like made their own whipped cream, I don't mind it.
wow.
Yeah. So this is more for me, where I'm like, trying to figure out if I want to go for repeat pumpkin spice lattes in like the 30 days that I think it's acceptable to be drinking them. Which place am I going to go? And across those factors, if I sort of like think about each one of those factors, not quantitatively, but like qualitatively, what dials in just the right pumpkin spice latte for Joe. That's what it's just a fun thing I'm doing
How many
because
have you
it's
done? How
it's
many have you checked
subjective.
so far?
I don't have it in front of me. I think it's about 7.
Wow. And you're gonna
We've
go
got a
through
lot of
them
coffee
again.
houses, and honestly, Outer Space Dollars was one of those because I went to Target. I had to do a little Target run, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get one." And it
Target's getting free
was,
advertising apparently.
oh shit,
So we're doing that.
can edit that out.
I'll edit
I'm
that
gonna edit
out.
that
That
out.
doesn't count. I didn't.
Bullseye. We'll call it
The
Bullseye.
bullseye place, the
I went to
bullseye
the Outer
store.
Space Dollars in the Bullseye
Yeah,
place
yeah.
for while I was walking around buying Halloween candy. And it was nearly undrinkable, but
Oh,
I
really?
drank it.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it was
was he
bad.
your? That means, and we can wrap this up by you talking about how, yeah, this means that your palate has improved, and it didn't get worse, and you didn't just suddenly start liking garbage pumpkin spice latte again. No,
Mm-mm.
it was that you found the better versions of it, and it's the local stuff.
It's the local stuff, and I'm gonna try making the syrup this guy made, and I'm gonna try making my own too.
Oh my goodness, are you a coffee maker?
Yeah, but
Do
honestly,
you have a good machinery?
um, I have a V60 for individual pour overs. I've got a Chemex, a larger Chemex carafe for like multi-cup pour overs.
Okay.
Um, I've got an AeroPress. Are you familiar with the AeroPress?
I know a press. Oh my God, we're in a lot of trouble, Joe.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. No.
The biggest. Oh my God,
Oh, oh, on the game or
on the
and
game.
me once again advertising for all these
Oh
companies that
no.
I just
Also, I don't
listed off.
actually care about that. I think it's hilarious, but I don't actually care. Oh my God. Oh my God, we're for sure dead. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this sit here for a little while. Um, what can I
I think
do?
this was a better topic than my actual topic, by the way.
Oh, so we've made it. There's some really good stuff. No, okay, so you mentioned two different uh, pieces of machinery that you have that demonstrate you definitely are a coffee dude. Do you do a full like you coffee maker?
Yeah, we've got like a drip coffee maker.
So there you go. You have all the different types.
Yeah, we have all the different types. The free advertisement, and I'm fine with this. I'll co-sign to this. The AeroPress, you should look it up because I think you would find it fascinating. I actually haven't like double checked this, so this could be a story someone told to me, and now I'm retelling it. I'm just realizing it. The pressure of like checking your own knowledge when you're on like a podcast. It's like, wait a minute. Did someone just tell me this one time and I just accepted it as fact because
Absolutely.
it was
Which
pretty it was pretty low stakes and it didn't matter
but
and it
you're in
was a good
a
story.
safe space. I'm happy to hear about it. I'm gonna trust you.
Well, the interesting nugget is the AeroPress coffee maker is was made by the same guy that designed the Aerobee frisbee in like the 80s and 90s. Do you remember that thing?
Yes.
It was the greatest frisbee of all time.
Um, it an absolutely fantastic frisbee. That is, and so this same person invented this coffee machinery.
Yeah,
That's
which
fantastic.
which makes him amazing.
Some people are just inventors, and that's what they do
Some
for a living.
some people
Invention.
just invent all kinds of shit. Did you
Absolutely.
know another fact that 60% of Aerobees were lost in the ocean because they traveled too far and couldn't be retrieved
That's a very
on
high
an errant
percent.
throw? It's high because I just made that up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even if it
but
was,
at least one did because that happened to me and my childhood Aerobee got lost in the Atlantic Ocean playing
that's
frisbee with my
incredible.
dad. Yeah.
Um, and it if what can you imagine if it was actually 60% and there's just like a floating island worth of aerobees out there in the Pacific, and it's the Great Pacific Aerobee Patch.
Maybe maybe this show will, or at least this clip will go viral, and all these elder millennials will come out of the woodwork and be like, "I lost my Aerobee frisbee in the ocean too." And it turns out it's like this common thing that we all share, this shared childhood trauma of losing an Aerobee frisbee because it travels so far and so straight that it just sailed into the horizon of the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean and never to be seen again.
Maybe it never landed. Maybe it's just
This
leaving, and it left
maybe
outside of your
maybe I should
field of
go
view.
back to that spot and wait for it to like catch it.
I don't think that's a good idea. It's never coming back.
Oh, wow. Buzzkill.
I can't play the game anymore, by the way. If
Oh,
I
you can't?
do, then I'm almost surely gonna die. There's absolutely way too many bad guys here.
I
So
just got a notification that says your call ends in 15 minutes. So explain to me, before I tell you what my thing was,
yeah.
explain to me why you're fucked.
Oh, okay. So up here, so about 6, 7, 10 moves ago, I got this status called marked added to my character, and it was that some evil entity in the dungeon marked my existence so that every bad guy on the floor knew where I was. And so all these dudes came towards me, and I couldn't find a staircase to get away from them. It's actually, there's one over here. So there's various things I could do to try to get out of this, like read one of these scrolls and hope that it just like zaps us to another part of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That could work, and I might do it in a minute. But if I do it and it doesn't immediately work, we might die on that turn. I might literally die on the next turn because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people going to hit me on this next turn. So
yeah,
very likely to die. We'll talk about your thing because we haven't even got to it yet.
let's see how much you actually want to talk about my thing.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's do that.
I think the pumpkin spice latte turned into my thing. I
loved that.
I don't think I had 2 hours of content on the pumpkin spice latte, but I haven't talked about it with anybody. My wife knows that I'm doing it. My wife knows that I'm doing it, but I haven't
Wait, we didn't even talk about what the best one is. We didn't hear the power ranking at all.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're all local places that you wouldn't know.
Right. Oh, outer space.
Should we give them free advertisement?
That's absolutely true. Yes, of course we can give local coffee shops. Let's do the top two. Let's do the top 3. Or wait, how many of them would you call good? 6 of them.
How many of them would I call good?
I think we do have more content on this.
Let's see. I think there's 3 good ones.
Okay, then those are the ones we need to hear about. Let's talk. Do you have them ranked? Do you have number 3 power rankings?
Here, why don't I bring up my notes? I don't think I can switch. I'm just on my phone, so I think I can switch apps.
I think I might not care about the rule about us ending conversation when I die. What do you think about that?
It's kind of a fun rule.
It does add drama, but I also want to hear.
Are you guys this is also another free ad. Are you guys a Bluey household?
Are we a what?
Are you a Bluey household?
Yeah, totally. That's a good ad. That's a worthwhile ad.
So if you change the rules that you established, that's
it's not fair.
That's doing the thing from Shadowlands.
Right.
You know, remember that episode Shadowlands?
Yeah. The rules make it fun.
Yeah, don't Shadowland.
The rules make it fun. So we just have to work our way through how to make the rules work. I have an idea, but what's most important is, did you get your information about your coffee?
Yeah, so there are 7. There are 7 that I tried. There's another one of the coffee shops has 2, but I've only had. They have 2 different kinds of like fall drinks. One is a proper pumpkin spice latte. They call it a pumpkin pie latte.
Oh, clever.
Which is interesting. And then they have another one that's a bourbon maple cinnamon latte. And it's made with a bourbon maple syrup from a distillery like a spirit distillery in Michigan.
That's incredible.
But I haven't had that one yet. I need to. One of the places, probably arguably one of the better bakeries in Illinois, is am I supposed to give my location? Well, too late.
I'll cut that out. I'll cut that out. I actually literally can cut that out.
I don't care.
Plus, Joe, I died. The character died.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not going to hang up on this because I literally just between the 2 of us want to hear. Oh, you know what? That's what we'll do. Oh, I just figured out. Okay, we're dead. Joe, the stream's over.
the stream's over, and you don't get to
And the rest of you
hear.
don't get to hear about the top 2 coffees
Yeah,
because that's what's critical here. Joe's right. The rules matter. And guess what's going to happen now is that Joe and I are going to go privately have the rest of this conversation. I'm going to hear more about the coffees.
that's how much you legitimately love listening to this.
That's exactly right, Joe. I want to I want to hear the rest of this coffee conversation. So folks on the internet, thanks for stopping by. This is our first death on the talk show, and thank you, Joe, for stopping by and making the time to hit me at this exact time of day. But Beef Boderham died on the 6th floor of the dungeon via death by all sorts of different things. All 8 of these guys hitting us at once. So, okay, bye, stream. Say bye, stream, Joe.
Bye, stream. I'm honored to be the death.